Are you thinking about starting up some Google ads, but you're not really sure just how much creative you actually need?
Let's talk about that.
So here we are, back on the T-Talk set, Lou. We've done one video so far and we're in for our second now. I thoroughly enjoyed our last one, so I'm really glad to have you back here. So thank you for joining me on the chairs of the set, surrounded by all the lovely foliage here. I feel like I'm in a jungle sometimes when I'm sat here.
Yeah, I love it.
And we've got all of this. I mean, I am sort of engulfed in it here. I feel like it's getting closer and closer every time. I'll just be in the shrub next time. But I digress. We are here to talk a little bit about Google Ads and creative.
Yes.
Now, some people out there might go, well, what creative?
Yeah.
What creative? Google Ads doesn't have creative. Google Ads is just text. You search something, it comes up with all the different results. It's just text. Why would you need creative at all when you're doing Google Ads?
I think that is an old school point of view.
I see.
I think back in the day that was true. In fact, I kind of remember when Google started image extensions for the very first time, and then they retired them quite soon afterwards because not much adoption and it didn't make any difference to click-through rate.
Sure.
But now it's changed completely, I would say. That the keyword, the ad copy, is integral as the creative that we provide to Google. So that can be done lots of different ways.
Very interesting. Now, let's just then, if we compare Google to Meta, as we so often do, I obviously am making a lot of creative for our clients, and I work very closely with Matt, our head of paid social, to do a lot of things for paid social, so Meta, Instagram, Facebook, all of those things. But I'm increasingly doing more and more for you as well. So why don't you just talk us through some of the stuff that you're having me produce for paid search, some of the stuff that some people might not realize you can even do.
So Performance Max is a big Google thing. Campaign type, not just a thing.
And what is Performance Max for those who don't know?
Such a good question. Performance Max is a campaign type from Google that relies mostly on Google's algorithm, and it marries together customer or audience signals, product data and or page feed data, and infers intention between what someone's searching for and what results they show. And it can be shown across a lot of the Google network.
Okay.
And so we don't have much control over it. There are a number of levers we can pull, and one of those is creative. And
interesting.
That can be through imagery,
yeah,
and that can be through video, as well as product listing images, which we haven't done so much yet, which I would really love to do in the future. Do some testing over like lifestyle.
I'm about to get busy.
Lifestyle imagery versus just static imagery. But for now, it's mostly just...
and where would you see that stuff?
What on the Google network?
Yeah.
Oh, so that would be across YouTube, Gmail,
yes.
in the promotions tab, across the display network, which now incorporates video partners, or will do soon enough. I think that's it. And actually in the search results, we can't forget those guys, can we?
That's it.
It's like my bread and butter.
It is, yeah. I think that's really interesting. I think it's really interesting how you mentioned YouTube there, because as much as they are almost one entity at this point, I think people do forget that Google and YouTube are kind of the same thing now, that in a sense that Google obviously owns YouTube, and YouTube, as much as we see it as almost an entertainment hub, it is a search engine.
Yeah.
You are actively searching for things on YouTube, just like you are Google. It almost makes sense that they bought it because they are so intertwined nowadays. And obviously, we love them, we hate them, we love to hate them. YouTube ads.
Yes, I do love those and hate them. It's hard, isn't it?
I had YouTube Premium for a short time.
Oh yeah, did you miss the ads?
I got it because it came with like my phone plan and all of that.
Yeah.
And before that point, I was like, I would never pay for YouTube Premium. It's not worth it. I'll just sit through the ads. And it was honestly bliss.
Was it?
Yeah.
How dare you?
Genuinely, I remember thinking I can never go back, and then my subscription ran out, and I'm now in the dilemma of, do I pay for it or do I sit through? And I've yet to work up
Can I convince you?
do it.
Okay, so I think the reason you should keep it is because it gives us ideas.
Yeah.
I really love watching YouTube ads in a weird way. I really love watching how people hook.
Okay.
And I really do that on a gut instinct. If I
Yeah,
don't get
yeah.
that hook straight away, I will be making a note and skipping because
Nice.
if I can, if I'm allowed.
Yeah.
Because I think actually it's a really good way of learning how other people are hooking you in, and also how basic some of the ads are is actually kind of exciting.
Yeah.
I love that. And we always talk about this, how people and
Yeah,
being
people like
authentic
people.
is,
And
exactly.
authenticity is a big
I
thing.
love that. So I
Yeah.
think you should keep it. from
Okay,
that point of view.
yeah, I think you could sway me with that. Actually, I think that the ads that irritate me the most
Yeah.
are the ones, and they're usually for big companies.
Oh yeah.
But they're the ones that are so far apart from what the actual product is.
Yes, agreed.
And it's just
Perfume.
like, who came up with this?
Yeah.
And then how many people did this have to go through who all said yes for this to actually go out? And it just doesn't make any sense. And there are so many better ways of doing it. So I get frustrated.
Yeah, I'd agree. One of my other pet hates of YouTube ads is where it's just been adapted from TV.
Yes.
I know I appreciate YouTube can be on TV, but I really hate that so much.
It's not sort of purpose made. So
No.
and you can tell.
Yeah.
So YouTube ads is obviously a great way to use creative with search.
Yeah.
What about this thing I've heard of called shopping feed? Is it shopping feed?
Yeah, product feed.
Product feed.
Yeah.
That's the one. So tell me a little bit about that and how can we use creative there?
Yes, definitely. And actually, some of that comes down to the feed management platform or how the feed is being managed by our clients. But essentially, you can. So Google are doing a test at the moment for AI imagery, which is fun, but also super annoying.
Yeah.
Because we have a great team and we should be able to do it ourselves. So
So it's giving you the chance to use AI to create your product images.
yes.
But surely that's false advertising.
Yeah. Oh my God, you should have seen one of the ones I saw. They basically did a hotel room. They took a example hotel room. So this was for the hotel feed, to be fair, and then they just added in a sea view, which it was mad.
That definitely feels like false advertising.
Yeah, agreed.
Wow.
Stop
it, Google.
So I think for product feed point of view, it's a really interesting test to do the static imagery. So against the white background, the classic, like this is your product,
isolated
nothing
images.
going on.
Yeah, I like that.
Against someone using the product. Say, for example, if you're doing a dining table and chair in a room, rather than just against a white background, or if you're selling a silk scrunchie, like in someone's hair, or like being used rather than just in a box.
Sort of showing the sort of use case for each of the products.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that. Because again, I think it's easy to forget that Google does have more than just that first search page.
Yes.
And particularly when it comes to buying things and that shopping, that product feed, you kind of want to see what you're getting.
Yeah, agreed.
And you definitely want to see an actual version of what you're getting,
yes.
not an AI.
Yeah, especially because much like we just talked about on YouTube, that first hook is really important, especially in the shopping results, even if you're just looking at the top.
Yes.
I do it. I'm sure everyone does it. You just scroll through looking for what you're particularly looking for. And if you can, it would be really interesting to see. I know from my point of view, I'm really grabbed to the use like lifestyle images against the
it does help things stand out a bit more, I think.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, if you're enjoying today's Tea Talk, you'll love our Grow with Evergreen podcast. Specifically created for home, garden and lifestyle brands, it's a podcast dedicated to discussing paid media and marketing. Every episode we're joined by a brand that wants to grow online. We delve into their business, dissect what they're doing and define a digital growth strategy they can take and deploy into their business. And best of all, you get to listen or watch along, then take those learnings into your own business. Make sure you check it out on YouTube, Spotify and Apple Podcasts. But for now, let's get back to today's Tea Talk.
So So going on to the more sort of specification sides of things now.
Okay.
Just I'm thinking more so that we can give our viewers some genuine sort of actionable tips and information that they can take away if they want to actually use this and make it themselves. So when I'm making videos, for example, for Meta, it's generally two sizes. We've got 1080 by 1080,
Yeah.
and we've got 1080 by 1920,
Yeah.
or in other words, square and portrait.
Yeah.
So we're looking for something similar with, with Google?
Let me just open my laptop here.
Yeah. What have we got here?
So yeah, it is essentially the same, but you can have, so you've got your square, your landscape and your portrait.
Sure.
For Performance Max. Demand Gen has the same, and then you've got the video assets, and they recommend also a square for video. It's kind of mad, isn't it?
What about for images?
So the one by one to one.
One to one.
You tell me, because I'm
one
like
by
this.
one.
Yeah, thanks.
That's square.
And then the same for the landscape and portrait is the same for Meta.
Okay. And then what about...
So it makes it easy, actually. For most people, we could just...
For most people who are doing Meta already and
we'll
want to use their creative, you can basically just sort of swap and change
And
it
a lot of the
out.
time, I would do that. I would go and
Well,
talk
that'll make
to
my
Matt.
job easier.
And
For
just
sure.
go and see what else he's... Because also from a user perspective, it's nice to have that consistency. Like you see the same. It's not different. You don't see a different promo on Meta that you don't see on Google, for example.
Now, I have heard, though, there have been times where Harriet, who does all of our graphics,
Yes.
she has been doing some stuff for search where I've then not been needed to do any video for, and she's told me about some crazy amount of sizes.
My goodness, yes.
So tell me a little bit about that, and tell me about sort of what is it, why is it?
Why is it?
Why?
I think it's because on the Google Display Network, if you kind of imagine some of the websites that have AdSense on,
Sure.
you've got The Guardian's a really great example, actually.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to say that? I don't know. I
think so.
It's gone for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just going to advertise The Guardian there.
Other newspapers are available.
I guess it's not the BBC, is it? You've got your long banners, you've got your skyscrapers,
Sure.
which Chris loves to talk about, and then you've got your square. I mean, basically any size you can think of, any size you can fit onto a website.
Really?
You can have.
Do you have a
on there.
list of sizes at all?
Let me just get my list together.
Yeah,
I did have
want you to. Let's run through this list just so we can see just how many sizes you need. Because I do remember Harriet doing it, and it seemed daunting.
It is daunting. Oh, it's ready.
Let's go through it. Okay, ready?
Ready? You ready for the list?
Let's do it.
Okay, so for square and rectangle, you can have 200 by 200, 240 by 400, 250 by 250.
Yep.
Oh, I had to take a really deep breath. 250
Only
by
3 in.
360. I know. I feel like I'm in a Guinness World Records competition or something. 300 by 250, 336 by 280, 580 by 400. So that's just square and rectangle.
Okay.
So that's 8. A skyscraper. You ready for these guys?
Let's go to the sky.
Yeah, 120 by 600, 160 by 600, 300 by 600, and 300 times. Oh, I just added a times in there.
We're doing maths now. Quickly.
Quick, go.
Let's go.
300 by 1050. That's a big one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know much, but you tell me.
That's large.
Yeah. And then the leaderboard, so these guys.
Okay.
It's 468 by 60,
Yeah.
728 by 90. Why is it so small? Like, why is it like
I don't
not round
know.
numbers?
I don't know why. That'll just be because of the certain sizes.
The pixels
It is.
available.
It is pixels. All
Yeah.
of those are pixels, and it is just. I don't know why specifically they're so very specific.
Yeah.
But it's just to do with the screen sizes and everything.
So weird. And they aren't. Those are tiny guys, aren't they?
Yeah, they're tiny.
So weird that they didn't just round it up,
Yeah.
the way the internet is now. Anyway, sorry, I digressed. I was just interested. I've always wondered that
Any
one.
more?
Yes, loads more.
Oh wow.
930 by 180, 970 by 90, 970 by 250, 980 by 120.
Wow.
Yeah, and they do go on to mobile and HTMLI, just added an I in there,
Oh, wow.
HTML. And so there's quite a few going on.
So
with
there's
those.
lots of sizes, and that's just for images.
Yeah, just for images.
So, but if you need to know all the sizes, you can find those on the internet quite easily, can't you?
Yeah, or just rewind.
Or just rewind
Yeah.
and then just watch this back and just quickly scribble them down. And you'll have everything you need. But yeah, so I think it's really interesting. And I thought it was just worth us getting on here just to talk a little bit about the creative side of search, because
Yeah.
it does exist.
Yes, it does.
Even though some people might think that it doesn't.
Agreed.
And we are going to explore that even more in the days to come. And I'm really excited.
Same.
So thank you for watching at home, and thank you, Lou, for joining me
Thank
here
you.
on the Tea Talk set once again. I have just realised that we've done the whole episode without the lights on.
Lights on.
So, yeah, there's that.
Oh.
We'll see you next time.